Welcome to All This Math. This is Professor Parker, and tonight we're going to do a video on percent change. All right. This video, well, actually, this topic was requested by one of my night school students. So let's jump right into it. All right. So first, we should read the problem because this is a word problem, right? It says, and with word problems, you want to really read it and you want to really try to fully understand it and make sure that it makes sense to you, and that especially if it's a real life situation, you might want to incorporate yourself into the word problem. Okay, so we read this. It says, what is the percent? You see, I use the percent symbol. I didn't write the word percent. We say, what is the percent change if a person receives a raise from $11.30 an hour? Let me get out the way. From $11.30 an hour to $13.50 an hour. So imagine you working a job, or you know somebody is working a job, and at first they're making $11.30 an hour, then they get an evaluation or review, whatever, and they are a good worker. So the company says, okay, we'll give you a raise. We'll bump you up to $13.50. But then you want to know, well, what percent raise was that? You know, because a lot of times we look at things in terms of dollar amount, but you want to think about percentage. Okay. So there's a formula that you can use for these types of problems. It's a formula you can always use. It works every time. And this is the formula. So put this down in your notes. All right, this is the formula. It's new minus old divided by old times 100. All right. So it's new minus old divided by old times 100. Now, the question you should be asking is, what is new, right? New is the new amount. Regardless of whatever the situation is, if you're dealing with percent change, that means something changed. A number got bigger or a number got smaller, all right? So what we have here is, we were making $11.30 an hour. Now we're making $13.50 an hour, okay? So our new amount is gonna be $13.50 an hour, all right? Our old amount was $11.30 an hour. So that means that in this formula, where you see the word new, we're going to rewrite the formula, and replace the word new with this number, $13.50. All right? Then you write the minus sign. Because again, all we're really doing is we're copying the formula over again, except we're replacing the word new and the word old with the numbers that they represent. That's all we're doing. That's all you use in math with any formula that you use. That's really all you're doing at any time. So we replace the word new with $13.50. You could put the dollar sign in, but you don't really need to. We replace the word old with $11.30, because $11.30 was their old salary, their old wage. $13.50 is their new wage. That's how much money they're about to make. That's going to be the new money. All right. So now replace that 11.30. Draw your fraction bar. Then that's the word old again. Old is in the denominator too. So you write this again. 11.30. And you do times 100. So now, first thing is we set up the equation. All right. Well, it's not really an equation, but, well, it is. But we set up the formula, right? Now we're going to simplify. All right. So now we basically do the math. So what I recommend, there are different ways that we can approach this, but what I recommend is first simplifying the numerator. Simplify the numerator. So figure out, okay, what is $13.50 minus $11.30? $13.50 take away $11.30 is going to be $2.20. So all we need to do is write 2.2. Or we can write 2.20 for $2.20. Then we bring down our denominator, 11.30, and then we write times 100. All right, so that's our first step. Next step is a couple different ways we could go, but my recommendation is simplify this fraction. All right, simplify that fraction. So in your calculator, type in 2.20 divided by 11.30. Don't do 11.30 divided by 2.20. You don't go bottom up. You go top down, right? And this fraction bar represents division, all right? So you're going to do 2.20 divided by 11.30, all right? Now, I did this calculation already, right? So let me check my notes and figure out what that's equal to. And in my notes, 2.2 divided by 11.30 is equal to 0.1947. So I got 0.1947. So this right here is this. 0.1947. But then I still got the times 100 over here. Now that's how I put it into a percentage, by multiplying by 100. Another way to think about that is just moving the decimal point 2 spaces to the right. When you multiply by 100, you make the number bigger, and you move the decimal point 2 spaces to the right. So this gives us 19.47%. So if I wanted to round it to the nearest tenth, or if I wanted to round it to the whole number, let's say, I don't know, 19.4%, or I could round to a whole number and just make it 19%. So basically this person is looking at a 19% raise, or which is really close to a 20% raise, you know? So these types of problems we should all know how to do. We should all know how to calculate percentages using and I'll do a video on this at some point. The is of proportion formula. I like that formula a lot, right? And we should all know how to do percent change problems, okay? So I hope you learned something new. Thank you for tuning in. Please like the video. Please subscribe to the page. Please tell people about it. Share the wealth. Let people know what we got going on here at All This Math. All right? We got a lot of videos, and we're constantly uploading new content on a daily and a regular basis. All right? And please do remember that there's All This Math all around you. Peace.